Today, we're plunging into a question many of us probably wonder about, but maybe don't ask out loud. What do women really want emotionally in, say, 2025?
Hmm.
And what's really interesting, I think, is that our sources today aren't just giving opinions.
Right.
They've actually distilled patterns, real patterns from women all over the world, backed by psychology, experience, real data. And it gives us a kind of shortcut to understanding.
Exactly. That's our mission here, isn't it?
Yeah.
To dig into those crucial insights from the sources,
Yeah.
to get past the guesswork and find out what truly matters emotionally for women today.
Okay, so let's dive right in. The sources talk about this universal emotional blueprint. And what's just, well, astonishing, frankly, is the consensus they found.
Yeah.
You've got different cultures, different generations, all across the globe, but experts, therapists, polls, they land on these same 5 core emotional needs.
It's pretty remarkable.
It really is. It suggests something, fundamental, hardwired maybe. And they really emphasize these aren't luxuries, not just nice to haves.
No, definitely not.
They call them emotional oxygen. Like without them, the connection just suffocates.
That's a great way to put it. It highlights how vital they are. And these 5, they really form the foundation, the bedrock for emotional well-being.
So what are they?
Okay, first up is safety. And that's both physical and emotional safety.
Right.
It's not just about, protection in the traditional sense. It's about feeling peace. It's
Yeah.
about calm responses instead of, say, reactive yelling.
Mm-hmm. Consistency.
Yes, emotional consistency over impulsive behavior.
Yeah.
That feeling of predictability.
Okay, so less like a superhero, more like a steady hand, someone reliable.
Precisely. A predictable, calm presence. Then a second one is deep presence.
Deep presence. Okay.
Yeah, this means really, truly undistracted attention. Quality over quantity? Absolutely.
Like putting the phone down.
Definitely putting the phone down. But also, like, looking into her eyes when you're talking. Remembering the small things she mentioned.
Yes, the small things.
Yeah, not because they're huge deals, but because remembering them shows you were actually there listening, invested.
That makes sense. It shows you value what she's saying, her world. Does it build a specific kind of trust, do the sources say? That deep presence?
Oh, absolutely. It signals value directly. It says, you matter. What you're sharing is important enough for my full focus.
Okay.
And that links perfectly to the third need, validation. But, and this is key, validation without jumping to solutions.
Ah, the fixer instinct.
Exactly.
Yeah.
It's about listening without immediately trying to fix the problem. The source had a great example, saying, wow, that sounds really exhausting. Connects much more than saying, well, you should have done this instead. It's just acknowledging her experience, letting her know her feelings are valid, even if you can't change the situation itself.
Yeah, I can see how jumping to fix-it mode could feel like you're dismissing the feeling itself. Like the problem isn't the feeling, it's the situation. Let's just solve that.
You got it. It
Yeah.
can shut down connection fast. Number 4 is appreciation. This means, praise without needing a prompt, but also, crucially, acknowledging what the sources call invisible labor.
Invisible labor, like the mental load.
Exactly. The emotional effort, the planning, the supporting, the nurturing, all that stuff that often goes unseen but keeps things running smoothly.
No, it needs to be seen and appreciated.
Definitely. And finally, number 5, emotional maturity.
Okay, what does that look like?
It's about accountability over ego. It's about handling conflict safely, constructively, owning your mistakes instead of deflecting or making excuses.
So taking responsibility.
Yes, that's a huge part of it.
Wow. Okay, so those 5, safety, deep presence, validation, appreciation, and emotional maturity. Taken together, they really do sound like, well, the foundation.
Yeah.
Emotional oxygen.
They really are. It's the groundwork.
So if these are universal, how do they actually show up? In different places, different women's actual words. The sources looked at that too, right? Voices from around the world.
They did. And it's fascinating because you hear these core needs echoed, but expressed, slightly differently depending on the context.
Different words, same root.
Exactly that. The core idea that kept coming up was women wanted to be understood, not managed.
Understood, not managed. That's powerful.
Isn't it? It's about respecting her perspective, her agency, partnership, not hierarchy. So let's look at some examples. From India, the sentiment was, we don't want control. We want inclusion. Be emotionally available without expecting obedience.
Inclusion, availability. That maps back to presence and safety, doesn't it?
It really does. Then, in the USA, a common theme, Just listen without interrupting. Validate my stress before you suggest a fix.
There's that validation piece again, very clearly.
Loud and clear. In Pakistan, one quote was particularly striking. I don't need flowers. I need calm. I want peace over passion if I can't have both.
Wow, peace over passion. That says a lot about wanting that emotional safety, that calm consistency.
It really does. It prioritizes that feeling of security. Then, from France, romance is about attention, not money. Notice the mood before the words.
Attention, deep presence again, being attuned.
Exactly. Being perceptive. In Kenya, the request was simple but profound. Ask how I feel, not just what I did today.
Connecting on an emotional level, not just the logistical.
Precisely. And from Japan, don't speak for me, hold space for me.
Hold space.
Yeah.
That sounds like validation and presence combined, letting her have her own voice.
You nailed it. So you see how all these different expressions, they really do circle back to those core needs.
Yeah.
Understanding respect for their emotional reality,
Yeah.
it's all there.
It's incredibly consistent, just phrased through different cultural lenses. Okay, so we know what helps build connection. Let's flip it. What pushes women away? What are the big turnoffs, according to the sources? They mention emotional immaturity being a key factor.
It's basically the opposite of that emotional intelligence we were just talking about. Understanding what not to do is just as critical.
Right, so what should be avoided?
Well, the sources listed several key things. Big one. Dismissing feelings with phrases like, oh, you're just being too sensitive.
Oh, yeah, that's a classic minimizer.
Huge turnoff.
Yeah.
Another is being inconsistent. You know, really sweet one day, totally cold and distant the next.
Yeah.
That unpredictability erodes that feeling of safety.
Creates anxiety, I'd imagine.
For sure.
Hmm.
Also, interrupting or correcting her while she's trying to vent or just share something emotional.
Jumping in instead of just listening. Back to that validation point again.
Exactly. And disrespecting her intuition is another one.
How does it usually show up?
It could be questioning her gut feelings, dismissing her concerns without really hearing them out, and making jokes when she's trying to have a serious conversation.
Yeah, using humor to deflect something important.
Right. It could feel deeply invalidating. The core message, pulling it all together, was really stark. One of the fastest ways to lose emotional trust is to minimize her emotional reality.
Minimize her emotional reality. That phrase really hits home, it feels like. Like telling someone their internal compass is broken. Why is that such a rapid trust killer, psychologically speaking? Is it just feeling unseen?
It's definitely feeling unseen, but it's more than that. It's feeling dismissed, disrespected,
Yeah.
invalidated. When you minimize someone's feelings, you're essentially saying what you feel is wrong or doesn't matter.
Yeah.
That chips away at their sense of self, their confidence in their own experience. And it destroys that psychological safety you need for any kind of real intimacy or trust.
Okay, that makes total sense. So knowing what not to do,
Yeah.
what actually works, did the sources give practical examples, like things you can actually say?
Yes, absolutely. This is the really practical takeaway. They identified 5 key phrases that women globally pointed to as ways to instantly deepen connection.
Okay, brilliant. Let's hear them. What are these magic phrases?
Well, they're not magic, but they are powerful because they directly address those core needs. First one, I hear you, and that makes sense.
Simple, direct validation.
Exactly. Second, thank you for sharing that with me.
Acknowledging vulnerability shows
Uh-huh.
appreciation.
Precisely. Third, I appreciate how much you carry, even if I don't always say it.
There's the invisible labor acknowledgement. That's huge.
It really resonates. Fourth, I want to understand you more. Can we talk deeper?
That signals a desire for that deep presence, wanting to go beyond the surface.
You got it. And the fifth one, your emotions are safe with me.
Wow. That directly hits the safety need, creates that secure base.
Right. It's explicit reassurance.
Those are actually quite straightforward, but you can see how powerful they'd be. It really isn't about having perfect, eloquent speeches, is it?
Not at all. The sources stress it's not about being perfect. It's about being present, being intentional.
Right words, right energy, that equals emotional intimacy.
That seems to be the formula, yeah. The intention behind the words matters just as much.
Okay, so if we were to wrap this all up, what's the core takeaway from this deep dive?
I think the clearest message from all the sources is this. Women aren't asking for the moon. They're not asking for, constant grand gestures or impossible things. They're asking for fundamental things. Emotional presence, genuine respect, a sense of peace and calm, and emotional maturity from their partners or in their close relationships. These are the foundations.
Presence, respect, peace, maturity, the building blocks.
Exactly.
Okay, that gives us a lot to think about. So for everyone listening, maybe a final thought to take away from all this. As you reflect on these, seemingly universal emotional desires, the safety, the presence, the validation, appreciation, maturity, how might truly understanding these insights actually shift your own approach? How could it help you foster deeper connection and understanding in your significant relationships? It's worth considering, isn't it? What's one small shift, maybe based on one of these needs or even one of those phrases, that you could make today? Something to mull over.